Hi guys, Jurassic Junkie here, which means I'm not at the Game Link, which means I won't be beating any world champions this weekend. Welcome to the Friday Night Rant. So yes, as I said on the previous video that I might not be doing a Friday Night Rant tonight or maybe next week due to my new job starting at some point. And sadly they've asked me to actually start sooner rather than later, which consists of this weekend. So I'm doing two 12-hour shifts, which means I can't go to the Game Link, and that means I can't go to the game weekend, and therefore I can't break even the World Championship record on Afterburner 2, which is really, really bad. I'm absolutely gutted that I can't go, not just because I want to beat the record, but there's a load of YouTubers going down there, and Martin's gonna, well, he's all hosted in his shop, and it was just going to be a good weekend, so I'm pretty gutted that I'm going to miss that. So first of all, I just need to apologise to anyone that I've let down. So let's start with the thing we start with every single week. We know how it's going to go. It's the sponsored by drink. And last week I did say I found some Magners, which is a new flavour, and I've gone back and got some more Magners because I'm just boring like that. But this time I've got pear and ginger. So let's give that a go. Stunning. That's the only way to put that one. Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous. I think anything that's got ginger in it at the moment I just find really, really nice. So, top cider. Now, let me just move this light. I'm being blinded. That's better. So Battlefield 3 this week has released some information about what maps are going to be in the multiplayer game, and they look absolutely stunning. I've always been a fan of having big maps, just because Call of Duty felt quite small and intense firefights and stuff like that, which is good, but it just means you die quite quick. And I just like to be open with a group of people and infiltrate the enemy. And yeah, that's why I've always been a fan of Battlefield 3, and these maps are just stunning. And the thing is, not only are they graphically nice, they're nice and big, but the cool thing is they've released a map, I can't remember the name of it at all, but it's very high up in the air, and there's also a part of the map down below, and you can actually base jump off, which is just absolutely awesome. So I'm spending this week, I'm actually practicing my base jumps. 3, 2, 1, jump! So I'm going to be all ready for that when that comes out. And it's just, the graphics are, as I said, look good anyway, and it's been released this week that on the PlayStation and the Xbox are both going to be getting a high texture map. So what it is once you install it, you can install the high textures, and then when you play the game it looks even better. Obviously for PC it's probably just there from the get-go. But yeah, that's just, after playing the demo and I was like, this looks graphically stunning, knowing that it's going to be even better when I actually purchase the game, I'm stoked for this game. The best thing is as well this week, obviously some videos are coming out of the actual jet fights and stuff like that, and there was a jet fight which managed to land itself on Coca 2, and I was impressed by it. And all it was is a guy was in a jet, flying it around, and you can hear the things going beep, 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 which we're not fighter pilots, but it probably means get the f*** out of the plane. So the guy decides to bail out, pull out his parachute, and fly down. And as he's flying down, the enemy that shot him flew past him, and he pulled out his RPG and fired it and took the enemy down. And that, first of all, I'm so excited to be able to fly some jets and stuff like that now. But the thing that made me laugh was I saw that he jumped out of his plane, and I also saw the ripcords, so I knew as he was coming down he was in a parachute. But apparently that went under Coca 2's radar, and they looked at the video and went, that's a glitch. A guy was flying a plane, next minute the plane disappeared, and he's floating in the air. That's a glitch. So they put it on their website saying, look at this glitch, you can fly. And it was like, everyone just went, that's what happens when you jump out of aeroplanes. And then a few minutes later they updated and went, oh, we've just been told that this isn't a glitch. So, well done, Coca 2. So, PlayStation 3 hacked again. But that's what everyone's saying. They're saying hacked again. And the thing is, I could slate them and say, oh my god, I can't believe they've been hacked again, but it's not actually true. What's happened is, when the initial hack happened and they got into the database and grabbed everyone's details, while there was obviously in there, they managed to get credit card details, etc. But the thing is, they got your username your password and your email address. And email address and password are bad things because majority of people tend to use the same password for everything. So if you get someone's password and someone's email address, if you go onto their Gmail or Hotmail, the chances are that password's going to let them in. So the hackers have obviously had that data, and I can only assume they've just been waiting for a buy and they've sold it. So whoever's purchased it is now started to log in. And the good thing is Sony detected this straight away. They just found a lot of IDs trying to sign in with incorrect passwords because everyone's obviously changed their account password, and they flagged it up straight away and noticed what was happening. But at the same time, they've obviously just run some filter or something like that just to check who's vulnerable, and they've come back and says 0.1% of the users' passwords haven't changed, so the hackers are able to log in with a password that they stole. And 0.1% sounds like a teeny midget of users, but it actually turns out to be 93,000 people. So that's quite a lot of people potentially vulnerable. But as I said, Sony's done well, and I've got to applaud them for this, because when they actually did get hacked, it was like a black hat, and they should have just turned around straight away and said, look, we ain't got a clue what's just gone on here, but just be warned, something might happen. And they didn't, so that was bad on Sony, but they've kind of redeemed themselves, just because as soon as this happened, they've locked those accounts out. And if you try and sign in and you're part of that 0.1%, you won't be able to sign in, but you will have an email simply saying, click on this link, and then you can reset your password. So that is quite good. But that's just brought me on to, I just want to talk a little bit about passwords, because the thing is, at the moment with the game in Unity and we're programming, obviously we're trying to make ourselves secure against hackers and stuff like that. So a lot of security things have been going through my head this week. And I was just talking to Joe about passwords, and I realised Joe is one of these people that has a password for absolutely everything. And obviously, in a perfect world, the idea is to have a different password for everything. But that's impossible. No one's going to be able to remember a billion different passwords. So my advice to you is always have 2 passwords. One password is for your email address and your email only. Only use that on your email. Use the other password for all your other sites, because the simple fact is Coca 2 got hacked and they took all the email names and passwords. And again, as I was saying, if you've got their email and their password, if you can sign into someone's email account, you can reset any password for any other site. So you can get into PayPal, you can get into anything. So if you keep just one password separate from all your other sites, if they get hacked, they will try your email account and at least that password separate, and they won't be able to get in. So that's the scariest thing you can do. Just have 2 passwords. So with that boring security talk out of the way, I wanted to talk about PayPal. And PayPal, I'm not the biggest fan of PayPal. A lot of people don't like PayPal. But they're managing to f*** up a few of the game industries at the moment. And the way it's working is a lot of indie companies, when they're actually releasing games, obviously you can do pre-orders, and the pre-order kind of funds the actual game project. And the majority of people use PayPal just because everyone's got a PayPal account, so it's easier for everyone to use PayPal. And the problem is, PayPal every so often has some filters in place, so if some weird activity happens, they just lock the account out and say, look, we think something's happening. And that's fine, that's not so bad. But what PayPal did is, when Minecraft was coming up to actually be fully released, there was a massive influx in sales, and PayPal went straight away, oh, this looks a bit crazy, this looks dodgy, so they just froze the account straight away. But when they do, they don't actually email these people saying, warning, you could have thousands of dollars just trapped in this account. They kind of just say, yes, something's happened, and just leave it at that. And then the people have to go through all the different loops and everything like that to try and get their money back. And the thing is, they've just done it to a game called Xenon. I don't know actually, I've wrote this down and I've done it really badly. It looks like Xenums. But yeah, the link will be down below just to make up for my really poor writing. But anyway, this game franchise is obviously asking people to fund it with pre-orders, and their account's been frozen. So they've gone through the normal thing, phone up PayPal and says, look, we're legit, can we have our money back? And they just simply turned around and went, right, you have to fill all these forms in, get all this government documentation, submit it to us, and then wait 2 weeks for us to just look it over, then we'll get back to you, then look about on freezing the funds. And the thing is, they said, luckily enough, they've got enough money to just be able to finish the game, but they haven't got enough to pad the game out to do all the extras that they was planning to do, so that's kind of put this game in jeopardy. And at the same time, it also happened to Project Zomboid. On top of it, as I was saying, to Minecraft got frozen in the early stages when everyone started putting all the money in, and because they froze it, he couldn't take that few £1,000 out, and it built up and built up and built up. And in the end, he had $750,000 frozen in a PayPal account. Now, one, that's just crazy because Minecraft is obviously a very addictive game, but £750,000, that is absolutely crazy to say he made it himself. And on top of it, it just means like, it makes me hate PayPal how they can treat people like that. Because the thing is, if it's just the odd one or two people, fair enough, they can't get back to the normal eBay sellers. But when somebody has £250,000 frozen in a can, it should flag up to PayPal, this is a high priority user. This money needs to be obviously sent out somewhere. So let's get in contact with them and say, look, is this true? Is somebody trying to do something dodgy? Can we talk about it? And they should get straight to you straight away. So yeah, PayPal is slightly damaging the indie market at the moment. Beer, also known as cider. So last week I was talking about Mass Effect 3 having co-op multiplayer kind of thing. And like I said, I'm not going to say I don't want it, because after playing Uncharted 2 online I enjoyed it. So I was like, okay then, let's just see how this goes. And it's been revealed this week that it's actually going to be a co-op playing game where you can go on, not just a Shepherd or Femshep, depends what you want to do, you can actually go in as different races. So you can actually go in as a Krogan and then pick your different actual biotics and stuff like that. So it means that 4 of you could just go on, pick all different races, different classes, and make this super squad, and then go out and do these missions. And that straight away made me go, that's pretty damn cool. And a lot of Mass Effect 3 fans, I don't even know how they can be fans because it's not even out, but nonetheless, the people who enjoy Mass Effect are actually saying they've changed the tone over just a week. They've gone, this sounds quite good, and everyone's getting excited for it. And then they decided to release a video of exactly how it's going to work this week. And I went straight to it straight away. I was like, oh, I've got to watch this. And within the first 2 minutes, they've shown you, I could only assume it was a large collector ship or something like that. And straight away I went, oh no, I've seen too much. So I just bombed the window out. I was like, no, I don't want to see any more. So I don't know what is in this video. But obviously because it's just been released, the comment feed was just going absolutely crazy. So I was just reading people's comments and everyone was going nuts saying this is brilliant, this is brilliant. So I'm so excited now, not only just for Mass Effect 3, it sounds like they've done a really, really good co-op mode to it. So I'm super excited for Mass Effect 3. So one thing I saw this week, I thought was very interesting, is at the moment Crytek are like pushing it with the graphics engine. It's a very nice engine, everyone's wanting to have a piece of that. But there's obviously some more engines down the line that are going to be created, and Square Enix have started releasing some details of the engine that they've been building. And I've had a look and you can't find many demos of showing you how the actual video works. The only video I could find was a video of somebody just walking onto a car park. And just that alone just made me go, you know what, the lighting's stunning, because it doesn't feel like computer graphics anymore. It's not slightly over the top. It just feels dead raw and really good lighting. And this engine's called Luminous. And they were saying that the actual engine obviously is going to be absolutely brilliant. They also say the way it's been programmed means the developers can actually make maps and program the game quicker. It's going to be apparently 30% quicker turnaround time for games. So with that, that means obviously they have more time to program on the game, therefore they can dial in the actual nitty-gritty bugs a lot quicker. So for a gaming developer's point of view, that's brilliant. For us, that's brilliant because we're going to get better games. And the other thing they've actually said is not only can this engine really do programming cloth, which is a thing that games have never been great for. If there's everything cloth or flags or anything like that, anything which should be blown in the wind, it either has to be pre-animated so it just does the same move every time, or it is a bit blocky when it moves, especially with rope in games. I've noticed that's always been felt like it's parts and not just one fluid rope. And they're saying that they've dialed this in there, so cloth just works really well and lands on top of objects and bends around it. So just these little items that added just are going to submerge you more into the game and go, this looks a lot more realistic. But the big selling point for me is they're actually programming in a really intelligent AI system. And the way this is going to work is the non-playable characters in a game, normally if you're fighting against them or anything like that, they obviously know that's a wall and they can lean against it and dodge, but everybody knows that majority of times when you're actually playing against a computer game, sometimes they glitch out, do some stupid things, or hide behind something which blatantly makes them obvious to you, and you can just pick them off straight away, but they think they're covered. And the thing is, this AI system is actually going to read the map constantly as it changes and feed it back to that player, and then the player will work on it, and it will also know where good sniper points are and stuff like that. So if you find yourself in a nice little spot and you think, you know what, the computer won't know I'm here, or if it is, it's not going to be able to get me very well, it will know how to work its way around to you. So just with that, sounds like it's going to be pushing gaming just a lot more, actually, because to me, I love playing online because I like to fight against someone who's intelligent and they actually use the environment. Whereas if you play against the computer, like I said, sometimes it does feel like you're going against a robot and they do stupid things. But if they can build that bit better, if the artificial intelligence can give us that edge, then I will love playing single player more, because I just want to fight something that's going to be a real challenge. So apart from the video that I've just shown you then, there's not much more information about it, so I'm going to keep my fingers on it. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to keep your fingers on it. Keep my eyes on it, more than likely. And then when I actually find any more information, I'll more than likely talk about it. But they've said they're actually going to be releasing a proper trailer, a video of what it can do in 2012. So we'll definitely have to keep your fingers out for that one. So that brings us to the question of the week. And I had a bloody good question. I thought about it a few minutes ago and I was sat in there. It's gone. That was it. So speaking of graphics, what's that game that you played and made you just go, wow, look how far we've come? And I know a lot of people are going to say Crysis, but for me it was Far Cry 2, because I just remember playing it thinking, first of all, this is quite a nice looking game, but then when it came down to actually like the sunsets, I found myself a lot of the time just stopping and just watching it, and the sun going down and just the actual glow that it puts onto the trees, and just everything about Far Cry 2 just made me go, this is an absolute gorgeous map. So what is that game that made you just go, wow, when you first played it? So thank you very much for watching, guys, and like I said, I really apologise to anyone that I've let down because I can't make it to the game link this weekend. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. Bye.
I believe I can fly. Woo. I believe